Welcome to Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is Belize, Lighthouse Atoll, dive site, Cathedral. The Cathedral dive site is on the eastern side of the Lighthouse Atoll. It's near the northern tip of Long Key. This dive site features large coral heads and sandy chutes. The depths on top of the wall range from 20 to 50 feet. The wall on this dive site runs north to south. This video was shot on the afternoon of December 1st over the course of 2 dives. The first dive started at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and lasted for almost exactly 60 minutes. The second dive started at approximately 4:15 and also went for almost exactly 60 minutes. As soon as I got in the water, just underneath the boat, I encountered this tarpon. He was under the shadow of the boat, and I was waiting for him to move into the sunlight so I could get a couple good pictures. I was trying to stay close to him without startling him, giving him enough room. It's kind of a game to see how close you can get. There you can see the boat above. I didn't have quite the right angle or the right lighting at this point. The boat was also swinging a little bit in the wind, so with the tarpon just to my right, I thought if the boat continued to swing to the left as it had been, I might get an opportunity here with some sunlight. Here you can start to see when the light hits him how it really lights up his scales. Now he's outside the shadow of the boat's hull. I just need to get the right angle, and here I'm getting right there. I got a couple great pictures. If only you could ask the fish to hold still. Anyway, I got a couple great shots there. As I continue to work my way toward the wall, I could see in the distance here above this coral patch a decent-sized barracuda. He was moving along though, he wasn't really hovering, so I figured I wouldn't have the opportunity to get any closer to him. As I made my way to the wall and turned to head south, I immediately saw this lionfish hovering over an adult drumfish. I'm trying to move in and get a better shot of this drumfish while being mindful of the lionfish above my head with his spines pointed down toward my head. It's amazing how different the adult spotted drumfish looks from the juvenile fish. The fin is completely different. I don't have any juveniles in this video, but I encourage you to look it up or look at one of my other videos. Here's a sea urchin, a long-spined sea urchin. I believe most, if not all, sea urchins are nocturnal by nature. They actually do come out and move around at night on the reef to feed. Here I'm moving south along the top of the wall. You can see the bubbles from the rest of the divers in my group in the distance. What I'm focused on right now are these sea fans and the way they're just dancing in the surge. Here you can see next to it some what I believe to be symmetrical brain coral. There are a variety of brain corals, but I believe this is symmetrical. Also, it looks like there's some more symmetrical brain coral over to the right. Cathedral is a great dive site, appears very healthy and teeming with life. Continuing to move along the top of the wall, I look down and notice my first reef shark. As I mentioned in previous videos, the device I use to signal my buddy also seems to stimulate the sharks. As the shark is swimming away, I'll use the signaling device to see if I can get him to turn and come back toward me. Here I hit the signaling device and you can see it still works, and the shark turns and makes another pass. I can't tell what's on this shark. He looks like he's been marked for tracking, perhaps because he has a spot on both sides. Then they look similar. I didn't notice this second shark until he came past me. Always good to have your head on a swivel when the sharks are around. It can be difficult to photograph sharks. They move very quickly even when they're just cruising. Take notice of this shark. He's actually covered quite a bit of distance and he's barely moving. And when they want to swim fast, they can swim incredibly fast. Luckily, we have a lot of light today and great visibility. This shark is actually quite a distance from me. Again, always good to be aware of your surroundings when the sharks are about. Here's that shark with the markings on it again. See what I mean? He has markings on both sides of his head. They're not quite symmetrical, but they're very similar. I wonder if at some point he was marked for tracking and maybe those devices fell off. You can see here I used my signaling device again and I did get a response from the shark. Here the shark's out in the open water. Again, the visibility is great and we have a bright sunny day. You can see the sun coming in from above. If anyone has any ideas about the markings on this shark, please let me know. I'm very curious. Working my way back up onto the top of the reef now and preparing to slowly head toward the boat. Taking in all the corals and fans and sponges, fish. This is a great dive site. Here I see a trumpet fish. They are part of the seahorse family and they're quite a unique looking fish in my opinion. I always like to try to get a close up of their face. I think they've got a great face. They almost don't look real. I'm going to stay with this one for a few minutes and see if I can get another close-up of his face. Sometimes they'll kind of just hang out and won't really care that you're there, but this one isn't going to let me get any closer today. And as I'm working my way up toward the dive ladder underneath the boat, there's a nice sized barracuda. Always enjoy trying to get a close-up of the barracuda's face. I love those teeth. I'd already completed my 3-minute safety stop at 15 feet and was ready to end the dive, but had a little bit of air left, and as I looked down I saw that tarpon again still hanging around. So as this dive had not been very deep throughout, I decided I'd drop down and try to get another couple pictures of the tarpon. Tarpon are kind of fun to photograph because they're so large and they don't require much movement to swim, so they almost look like they're just kind of hanging there in the water, perfectly still for a photograph. The question is, how close can you get before they move? Back into the water for the second dive. I decided I'd spend more time on top of the reef exploring this time. I believe this is a gray angelfish as opposed to a French angelfish, which is very similar. This next fish is a member of the angelfish family. You can see there I'm swimming directly towards it. It's yellow and black. It's called a rock beauty. This one seems a little shy. I'm really enjoying all the color and light here. I'm only in about 20 feet of water. I saw a parrotfish swimming around this rock and I'm hoping he comes back out. And sure enough, there he is. That is a stoplight parrotfish. What great colors. Here we have some staghorn coral. It looks healthy. It looks as though there's new growth on all of the ends. I've reached the wall and decided just to have a quick look at the top. Immediately I spotted a lionfish and decided to move in a little closer. Upon closer inspection I realized there are actually two lionfish here. I'm always hoping to get that elusive lionfish face photo. They always seem to want to hide their faces, which I guess makes sense, and direct those spines back toward you. Looking just a little further over the wall, I saw yet another lionfish. Although they are all a little different in color, this one seems particularly light. I believe they're all called red lionfish, and I believe those are the only kind of lionfish found in the Caribbean, and they are an invasive species. If I'm wrong and they are actually different types of lionfish, please comment and let me know. Again, I'm working on that camera angle, trying to get a face picture, and there we can see a little bit of the lionfish's face. Moving back to the top of the reef and back toward the boat, I had a great encounter with this porcupine fish. Pretty good in size. I've observed this sort of territorial behavior before in them. This fish has a pattern. It's swimming toward me in this particular coral formation. It seems to have a home there, or at least it has this territorial presence around it. So it goes down, swims underneath, and comes back up the other side and makes a circle, and it really doesn't seem terribly bothered by my presence. You'll see it's looking right at me there, made for some great shots, face-on shots. They don't look menacing, but they have a mouth that's incredibly strong. They can use it to crack snail shells and crab shells and sort of things like that that they feed on. You definitely don't want to get your finger anywhere near their mouth. I spent the remainder of this dive with the porcupine fish. I would actually end up diving this site a third time, and it would be my only night dive on this trip. So I think I have enough content, and I will be putting together a night dive bonus video for this Cathedral dive site in Belize on the Lighthouse Atoll. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.